This is We Bleed Orange and Black, the podcast for Halloween and horror lovers. Join us as we interview creators, discuss our favorite folklore, and share original spooky stories. I'm Jeff C. Carter, and this week we're talking with Corrine Phillips about her collection, The October Book. Corrine Phillips is an artist, writer, autumn person, and the author of 4 books, And the Garden Grew, The Billion Ghosts A-Wandering, In Vast Spaces of Night, and The October Book. She hails from a small Pennsylvania town and spends most days with her fellow, her 2 dogs, 1 betta fish, and 1 magical old cat. When she's not creating, you'll find her daydreaming, exploring old graveyards, naming pumpkins, and counting down the days until next Halloween. Corrine, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you for having me again. I forgot to update that bio, actually. My betta fish passed away.
Oh.
His name was Jacob Marley, so now he's really a ghost haunting my house, my little betta fish.
R.I.P. Jacob. Pour one out for a real one, or maybe pour one in.
Pour one in. Yes.
Corrine, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's been a full spin of the wheel since the last time you were here, but I'm still going to hit you with an icebreaker question.
Ooh.
Why is it important to name your pumpkins?
I think because once you carve them, they all have their little personalities. You're giving them like a life force once you carve them. They deserve names. And if you read the October book and you read its sequel, you'll find out more about why.
Sequel?
I name pumpkins. Yes, there's actually going to be a sequel.
The November book?
No. I'm not going to tell you the name, but definitely a sequel.
What have you been up to since the last time we spoke?
Oh, man. I'm just like hanging out and and writing and working and making pumpkins, making perfume. Yeah, I'm working on 2 other books, trying to keep it spooky, decorating for Halloween now because it's September. Start early.
We missed out on the October book last fall because I think we also recorded in September.
Yeah.
This was an October release. So let's get into it before your follow-up comes out. You want to hit us with a back of the book summary?
Welcome to Haydale, a most peculiar little town where the flickers of Halloween's past burn bright within carved pumpkins, where otherworldly creatures skew the boundaries of reality, where the souls of the dead are never so far away from the living, and where magic and mystery can be found around every corner. Told through a series of poems, short stories, and vignettes, the October book offers an enchanting, poetic glimpse into the unknown realms and intrigues of the autumn season.
Fantastic.
It all sort of started with this idea of a creature, honestly. This creature that's made of dust and time. And in the book, he's actually mentioned. His name is Grandfather Shroud. He is a giant pumpkin creature. And everything from this town sort of stems from him and his existence. And that's kind of where it all started with him.
Stems?
Yep. Quite literally stems. Yep. And then it weaves through the town like his vines.
I don't want to give away the whole collection during our interview, so I'll cherry pick a few short stories, and you can too. We'll go back and forth. We'll just pull out some samples, trick-or-treat style.
Fun time.
One of my favorite stories was The Cardigan.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Because it was unexpected. It was whimsical. I mean, so many of your stories bring the atmosphere of October and autumn to life in the stories, but this one made that a plot point.
The Cardigan is about a girl named Savannah. She goes thrifting and she finds this really cool old cardigan and at an antique mall. And she takes it home and she puts it on and she falls asleep and she wakes up in a pile of autumn leaves and she realizes that this cardigan, once you put it on, it just sort of brings fall anywhere you are. So the pockets fill full of pumpkins and leaves fall from the ceiling. You know, it's just absolute madness. And she kind of wakes up and it's like a farmer's market inside of her living room. If you have the cardigan, no matter the season, you put it on, you know, if you're sweating in the middle of August, a cool breeze will blow in and you're surrounded by fall.
It's such a neat, simple idea that is executed so well.
I liked the idea of, you know, you put on a cardigan to get warm, but this is kind of the opposite. You put it on and it's chilly and it's October.
Tell us about the haunting, because I thought this one was pitch perfect.
It's inspired by, old episodes of Unsolved Mysteries and stuff, or any of those ghost shows that used to be on. And it's basically just like a transcript of an episode that took place in like 1998. And it's just a story of this family that their haunted house is invaded by a poltergeist because a little boy, he unknowingly does kind of a magic spell with a pumpkin, and it brings this sinister presence to their house, and they have to figure out how to get rid of it.
I like that this story not only ties in a bunch of the world building for this fictional interconnected town of Haydale.
Mhm.
There's mythology and there's legends, but then you also bring in urban legends that get changed and renewed and sort of mutate every generation. So the kids of the current generation, their version of what's going on is very different from their parents and their grandparents.
Right. It's kind of a thing in this story. I kind of mentioned the other urban legends, like, Bloody Mary or Pop Rocks and stuff. And then, but this instance is something that kind of morphs with the town and the experiences of every generation. It's definitely a presence that has lingered there for years and years. But in 1998, it takes the form of this one thing, and you'll learn more about it. That's all I'll say.
The rhythms of this particular urban legend would be so familiar to anyone who grew up at that time or who was on the internet and heard these creepy Halloween games.
Mhm.
So you have another short and sweet tale in this collection called The Die Cut.
So I just love old like paper die cuts and, decorations like that, stuff that I've had since I was a kid. I remember the places that they were hung and how they got torn or chewed on by a family pet or something, and I still have a lot of them. And I always wonder what they might be thinking. Like, what do they feel like? Do they get upset when you kind of pack them away and for the year before you like hang them up and stuff? Or do they feel, I don't know, like they're becoming useless, I guess, because they're so old and falling apart? There's only so many times you can repair them. Yeah, the die cut's just about a little paper skeleton that's kind of old and withering away. And he tells a story about his girls who have kept him over the years, whether, it's kind of like a little family of like a mom and a grandmother and a daughter. And the youngest one has him now, and he's kind of in a really bad shape. Can't be taped up anymore because he'll just fall apart. But yeah, I loved the idea of him being revered for all of the time and effort he took to decorate a window and make kids smile on Halloween.
This one made me tear up.
Oh.
This one got me. It's like
Yeah.
barely 4 pages, but it's so concentrated and delicately rendered. Yeah, I really, really loved the die cut.
Thank you. I'm so glad. Yeah, it's definitely that one and the candle were kind of the ones that made me like upset, you
Yeah.
know? Just the sentimentality of the passage of time. But I'm really glad that you like it.
To wrap up our discussion of the October book, I'm going to have you read a passage from your story, The Scarecrows, about the meaning of Halloween, which I thought was so poetic and evocative. So when you're ready.
Then he thought, what did it all mean, really? Halloween. Well, it meant a heck of a lot to him and to the pumpkins, of course. It meant an incalculable amount to Grandfather Shroud and the many generations of Haydale. The wind certainly seemed to love it because it always became crisper, livelier, and more mysterious. The trees seemed taller, wiser, and reached farther in wide and lovely shadows. The graveyards even traded in their greens and grays and sang in warm, colorful tones, begging one to listen and look closer, watch for mists hovering over tombstones or by mausoleum doors at sunset. The many inanimate forms of decoration and fence post, rooftop and road all came alive somehow, their essence tapping you on the shoulder, whispering in your ear, making you believe in something more than what the eye could see. It made the children wild and open to the possibility of magic, It made the adults embrace and remember the children they used to be. Halloween was a storybook everyone passed down. The waking world and its many cultures had its own origin story. All that religion, all that soul, all that life and death converging and melding at the crossroad of its bewitching plot lines and human conditions only kept growing like the pumpkins in the field. Halloween, the last alive and lovely thing before the seasons of death and rebirth. Asher thought of how lucky the humans were to have their fear of death, how they learned to make fantastic stories out of it, and how, once October brought it creeping up their doorsteps, they embraced it, realized it wasn't so final.
Thank you. Obviously, that's a great thesis statement for the holiday and my podcast, but I could have asked you to flip the book open to any page and there would be something just as lovely and profound. This whole collection is incredible. I love it when poets write fiction because it just sings.
We're a little too flowery sometimes, but sometimes it works.
It definitely works on me.
No.
You definitely made me tear up a few times. This is a fantastic book. It's a great way to get into the fall season. Can you tell us about the cover art?
I drew the cover art one night. I was just kind of scribbling, screwing around. I wasn't sure what kind of cover I wanted, but this little skeleton guy came to me. It's pretty symbolic of the book. There's the winged skull, the memento mori skull at the bottom, and he's resurrecting this pumpkin, which is something that kind of happens in the story. The pumpkins all kind of store memories and they're resurrected every year as, they might have different names, but they kind of have the memory in their seeds of who they used to be. So it's a little trick-or-treat boy resurrecting a pumpkin.
This is the part where I ask what you're working on next, but you've already teased us that there's going to be a sequel to the October book.
Yes, there is. Yes. There's just so much more I have to tell. You probably read it, and there's definitely loose ends in there, It's kind of a bit of a puzzle. I couldn't leave it at this. There's just so much more that I need to say, and I need to develop these characters a little bit more and explain, why they're doing the things that they're doing. And there's a little group of these people called the Fall Children who there's something big with them. And I'm really excited about the second book. So I'm working on that. And I'm also working on a book of Halloween meditations, which I don't know if that's a thing. I don't think I've ever read anything quite like it, but I like to meditate to kind of help with anxiety and stuff. And mostly when I meditate, I kind of have to visualize something. I can't just clear my brain and be good. So I thought it would be fun to kind of write visual meditations for Halloween. They're all themed around Halloween. So there's a meditation as a mummy, or you're walking on a covered bridge, or you're a gargoyle on Halloween night. So yeah, that's really exciting. And my friend Brenda is actually illustrating it. So it's going to be illustrated. So there's a picture to accompany each meditation. And I'm very excited about that. That'll probably be available in the spring.
I cannot have that book soon enough.
It's going to be 31 meditations. So there's going to be 31 different things, and the pictures are going to be absolutely beautiful. And I'm so excited.
You are the perfect person to write that.
Oh,
please come back on the show so we can talk about that.
Of course. As long as you'll have me, I'll be here.
So what are your plans for October?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I'm just hanging out. I'm decorating the house, and a friend of mine is probably going to come in and visit, and that'll be nice to see her because I haven't seen her in a year. She's my best friend. I want to go to Sleepy Hollow, probably do that. Yeah, but I'm pretty much just going to be hanging out, carving pumpkins, decorating the house. So
what is Sleepy Hollow like in October?
Beautiful. Just amazing. I don't really know how to describe it. You feel like magic in the air there. There's a lot of noise and craziness from, just all of the tourists. But if you can kind of catch a nice little quiet area, you can feel the energy in the air, of just the old days.
Would you rather go to Sleepy Hollow or Salem?
Oh, Probably Sleepy Hollow. It's a little quieter than Salem. I love Salem. I love Salem, but I think I love like the surrounding towns a little more.
Hmm.
I love like Marblehead and uh, Beverly and stuff like that. So, and I love going to Boston. Boston is just fantastic in the fall and any time. But yeah, I'd probably go to Sleepy Hollow.
So, Corinne, where can our listeners find you online?
The best place to find me is on Instagram at Obscura Hortus, OBSCURA_HORTUS. I'm always there posting photos, sharing my wares, I guess, sharing my books, and all of my links to other things.
Corinne, thank you for coming back on the show.
Thank you for inviting me back, Jeff. I had a great time.
And of course, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and follow. We're now on YouTube. Links are in the show notes. You can find me at jeffccarter.com and hit the link to pick up my collection, We Bleed Orange and Black, 31 fun-sized tales for Halloween. Until next time, stay spooktacular.